Looking back at the film, how well did you feel like you guys executed? Obviously didn't get the win, but when you look at the totality of the game, how did you feel like y'all did?
I feel like we did pretty good against the run. You know, they were a heavy run team, and Coach Turner shared before the game. They was like, I think it was like they were like 25-0 when rushing over 200. So, and one of our main goals in our D tackles room is to stop the run. That's our first goal. So, I feel like we did a pretty good job executing. You know, hated that in overtime. You know, we were able to execute as well, and they got the long run. But that was like their only explosive run that they had during the game. So. Thought we did pretty good, you know, could always improve though.
See? Interesting challenge, you know, going on the road, gonna be a big crowd. Do you think, you know, playing here, even though the cheers are a little different on the road, do you think playing in a loud environment like you guys playing here prepares you for those road games?
Yeah, you know, it's always difficult to like emulate what a crowd noise is going to be like, especially them being over 100,000. It's going to be really loud in there, and I know it's going to be a great challenge for us. But I feel like we're going to be able to prepare and be able to just, you know, I know the crowd's a big part of every game, but just trying to like focus on executing our job, being able to communicate well with each other. I think that's the biggest thing.
Sam.
I'm not sure if you've got a chance yet to look at Texas A&M and their offense, but if so, what just stands out about them?
I mean, they're returning all 5 of their starting offensive linemen from last year, so it's a veteran group. You know, they're a pretty good group. They work well together up front. You know, they got playmakers on the outside, and Mario Kraber, who was here last year, obviously, and then Casey Concepcion. I've actually played against him at UNC, and he was a problem there. So, you know, being able to have to handle those two in the back end, you know, I can't really speak for them, but I know it's a great challenge for them. Then us, kind of like this week, we got to be able to gap up the run because they got 2 talented running backs, and Moss and number 4. So I think our biggest challenge is just be able to gap up the run to try and make them one-dimensional, and also be able to contain Marcel Reed because he's a good runner too.
Robbie, then Steve.
KJ, last year, and actually the last 2 years, Deke has not been able to get past the first game, and he's become a big part of y'all's line this year because he's been healthy.
Yeah.
What have you seen from him in the first few games that's allowed him to not only just kind of stay in there and stay in the fight, but be really productive?
Yeah, I mean, he was telling us in the D-line room that was his first SEC game. So, you know, I'm really proud of Deke, you know. Just all the stuff he's been through, kind of like me, just battling through injuries and stuff. But really proud. I feel like he's been improving week to week, and he's been a big piece of what we have going on up front. So really glad to see that he's doing well.
You mentioned Marcel. I mean, you guys have seen some athletic, dynamic type quarterbacks. On the defensive line, how do maybe your keys change a little bit when you have to kind of account for the quarterback run?
It always goes back to execution, just knowing when you have to squeeze versus serve, being able to just have eyes on the quarterback, especially in the pass game, because if his first 2 reads aren't there, he's going to try and take off. So I think the biggest thing is kind of like how I was saying during the first weekend, Arizona State, we get big about pass rush integrity and being able to contain them in the pocket, make them beat us playing quarterback and not being able to scramble with his legs too.
Anything else for KJ? All right.
All right.